You asked yesterday about adductors. This is like sideline is when we do it. This wasn't included in what we had like written down to kind of start with, but I figure since we're here, we might as well flow into it. So with the adductor work, I mean, I'm used to, I haven't done table in forever. So when I do this on the mat, I'm putting my foot right up at the top. I have the most important part here is that her leg is, number one, supported and lifted up so that way it exposes all this great stuff up high. And I'm going to come in not with this pointy part unless they want it, which generally they don't. I'm going to come in with a big broad. How's that?
What part of your leg is that?
I would say it's the shin.
It's your forearm on steroids.
My forearm on steroids.
It's her forearm on steroids.
So I'm sitting here, right? I'm just hanging out. I've got hands. She's got a calf. Because these sustained points, it seems so boring to give, but it's so important to allow the muscle to just receive it and start to relax. Sometimes too much movement is almost like counterintuitive. Like the muscle will be like, whoa, 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 chill out with all that movement. Just hang out a little bit. If your client wants a little more pressure, I mean, I know that you don't, huh?
So now tell them how dangerous it is to put pressure on the femoral artery.
I was just gonna ask.
I'm not doing there's not enough pressure here to do damage.
Your entire body weight is on her. How's it not enough pressure to do damage? And I'm not questioning you, by the way. I'm giving student complaints.
Basically, I will create a blood stop, which eventually her foot might feel a little bit of tingling, and if so...
Every white person who sees this video.
As the receiver, it feels like I'm getting a nice compression on my inner adductors, which normally don't get worked on.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's at, I don't have any issues with my feet. I'm not feeling any tingling or anything. Sometimes clients will. You just don't hold it forever. So
No, you don't hold it forever.
Keep an eye on the foot because it'll change color.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, it's as a receiver, it feels like
Amazing.
areas that
Don't ever get any work. So clients that have knee pain, typically if I do this, I'll do a compression up high, and if it loosens up enough, I can go a little bit lower, I do that. This, we'll see. Pressure's okay?
It's amazing. And she's like real close to my business, but it doesn't feel invasive at all.
My male clients will say, I'm happy you know what you're doing because you are really close to everything. I'm like, yep.
It's like...
It's very direct. I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. And the client knows that I'm not deviating past their point of comfort.
And I feel supported from feeling where her hip is at.
Yeah. So should I continue on and start with the supine work, or should we go ahead and practice this? What do you guys want to do? You want to continue on and try the new supine stuff that we were going to do today?
You're going to try this side.
Or do you want to do this first? Continue? Anyone else have an opinion? Class voting? Cool. All right. Let me blow my nose real quick because I've got a sniffle. It's going to drive me fucking crazy. Sniffing. I'm like, what the fuck?
What's the difference between using these structures and using that structure? General to specific, superficial to deep. When they talk about femoral artery, are you using an elbow on it? It's a different structure. When you change the structure, you change the platform, you change the things that you can potentially do. I don't call it a blood stop. I call it an arterial tourniquet, because a tourniquet is how you save somebody's life. If you say blood stop to a white person, they freak out. Like, I need my blood to move. I don't need to stop. I need blood to move.
It's my craft table. It's all good. So we're going to keep moving. So we're going to go into some supine work. Feel all right? This table is super funky because we're on that mat. I guess it's enough distance up. It's kind of dropping you off. You feel fine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. So similar to how we palm pressed while they were face down, we palm press while they're face up, right? And so depending on what their client's needs are, you could spend a lot of time here in the feet. You could do some pointed thumb pressing, right? You come in with your palm, give a big broad. You can do a mixture of both. It just depends on what your client likes, what they need. And we'll palm up, being aware that we're hitting the soleus here, getting a little gastroc. They can be very tender, especially the left one on Danielle. And as we trek up, we'll go right above our knees and do some lovely knee circles. Everyone loves knee circles. But here you'll be able to feel if there's some adhesions, if it's very tight around the knee. We're always assessing, we're feeling what is going on with Danielle's body today. At this point, if you needed to stay on the floor, you could press up while with our feet on the floor. If you're able to get on the table and you want to, feel free to get on the table. You could even start on the table. You want your receiver's feet and legs to be open and near you so you can just sit here and go side to side with your body weight, right? Once I'm here, I go ahead and lift up, but be really aware. It can be pretty tight. Our palms can be pretty sharp, especially mine apparently. And as I'm going in, I'm like rolling in between the muscles. I'm settling in. Your hands will fall directly where you need to go.
I can feel my hip opening up when you're doing this.
So I like to go all the way up. Let's go right up top. And when I get to the top where I can feel, I just lean over and give some steady, static pressure.
If you were on a mat on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
would you still be on your knees? Or
Mm-hmm.
would you be, okay,
Mm-hmm.
More knees, less standing.
okay.
So this is just to generally warm things up to assess and see how things are going. Come in and do little snakes, little rolling. Danielle does not like the IT band work really. She's pretty pressure sissy, right? So your client likes it. You're sitting here warming up the IT band, doing some little gentle, loving thumbs.
She's doing great loving time.
Come down.
Feels so good. Oh my gosh.
These muscles typically, if you have a client that has foot pain, I'm always coming in, checking out what's going on with this lower leg, People love those dang Skechers that are so soft and unsupportive. I'm finding everyone's got busted lower legs. All right, so a little worm. We'll come up into our quads. I'm gonna come in. Danielle tends to like it. I mean, it really just depends. So kind of play around and see what your receiver likes. She prefers it when I come in facing up the body. My leg is kind of like a little flamingo leg, and I'm just sinking into her body and kind of pulling down. How does that feel? Would you like more sinking in towards?
Oh yeah,
Is that pressure good?
that's amazing. You're amazing.
Would you like it more lateral? A little more towards the hip?
Oh yeah.
And then I'm just gonna sink in.
My hip flexors are tight.
What part of the leg are you using?
Now I'm using about probably like the lower part of my knee. And for me, I had my foot up and it's getting in the way. I had to let my foot just be relaxed so I could sink into Danielle,
She's sinking in.
right?
It's like right there.
Is that a good point? Would you like a little more medial?
No, I don't want anything.
You could distract, right? We have our primary. You could have a secondary thing you're doing, right? She's having a hard time with this. You could come down.